Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Boker Tov. Barahim Habaim. Mihaba. Guten Morgen. Buongiorno. Ni mihao. Kamsamida. And what's up? This is Apostle William D. McGee Jr. here in San Antonio, Texas. Again at Fanatic Central 101. And this is April 25th, 2017. And it's 07:20 hours this morning. Been away for a bit. Had some medical problems had to go take care of. But as you see, I'm still here. Still here with the fight. Yes. You know how I always want to talk about the government and Trumpism and all the other stuff. But today I'm going to change my direction because God, love, wants me to change my direction. As an apostle of Him, of love, as an apostle of Yeshua Yahweh, of His Son, the Word, and the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Spirit of God, I have to change my direction and focus more on the city level versus the state and the federal level, because we cannot win against the executive order, we cannot win against the legislative order, and we cannot win against the judicial branches, those executive branch, legislative branch, and the judicial branch. We have the GOP, the Grand Old Party, and Mitch McConnell and his band of merry men there, along with all the other godfathers that are running around the place. We have all the lobbyists. We have all the other things that are there hampering our progress to change things in the chaos city at WH, at White House Central, or Oval Office Central, along with Donald Trump and his band of merry men and women, which includes his own daughter. Don't see too much of the FLOTUS, but we sure enough see a nod of the daughter of the President of the United States. Maybe we should come up with a new acronym for her. Maybe we need to call it the DAUGHTERS, or the daughter of FLOTUS, or something of that nature. But you know what? Sometimes I wonder about those two. But I'm changing my direction. We're focusing on all from the top down. Each one has its own series and it looks exactly like the other one. So, as I said before, what goes on in the government, federal level, also goes on in the state level, and also goes on in the city level, or your township. If you have a town and it has a mayor, it's not a city yet, but it's a town, it flows downhill. It rolls downhill. As being sheep at the lowest level, or we are sheep at the lowest level, all kinds of things happen. We have to focus on what is going on in our own city, what is taking place, versus in the crime, versus in the people, versus in whatever's going on. Because there's always a group of people running the whole place. Even though our infrastructure shows a mayor, city manager, 9 or 10 district councilmen, then we have those that are not mentioned, that are running the place. We have all those businesses that are here running the place. You have to look and see what are the major players, what are the major businesses within your city or within your town. Some here in San Antonio, we have HEB, we have Ancira, we have some other big boys here, Lockheed, Boeing, all these dudes that are here, all these companies that are here. And what do their lobbyists have to do with our city infrastructure? How do they play a role in what is transforming here or transpiring in San Antonio? See, that, my friends, is where the war shall begin in San Antonio. In my book, I have wrote in the back pages, and I had mentioned this on my Facebook page, and saying that the war shall begin in San Antonio. And it seemed like I looked around, and all the FBI agents, they were running around trying to figure out, who is this talking about a war is going to start in San Antonio? Nobody could figure out that war, just because someone said there's a war going to start in some place, does not mean that there's going to be physically shooting or killing or anything like that. You can launch a war, which is offensive posture, offensive maneuver against what is already up and running. A war, my book called Fanatic, they call me the Fanatic, I am war, clearly states that this war that I'm launching, that the Fanatic Central 101 is already at war. We're at war status. We're already at a war status, because see, we're not here to play games. We're not here to get involved in your greed, in your power struggle, in any of that, because that's what you're doing already. Because every time a candidate, whether at the mayor race, mayor at the governor race, even at the presidential race, you have those forces behind the scenes ready to destroy them. And this is how they destroy them. They destroy them by finding out their weakness. Yes, not their strength, but their weakness. How can they assimilate them into the Borg? Now you'd be like, oh, that's all you talk about is these different movie things. But since everybody's focused on movies like Hulu and Netflix and all these other movies, so you don't even watch TV, you just watch movies. And so you're all big, the millennials mostly are movie critics. So if I'm talking and talking about different movies, they can understand it better when I use the movies as a form of teaching them about what's happening in their government, what's happening in their state government, what's happening in their city government. Entertainment is a big thing, but it's all part of the same, they're all on the same team. Are you not being entertained? It's a distraction to keep you from knowing what's actually taking place. While you're out going to these entertainment, sports arenas, spurs, all this is all part of the diversion and the distraction tactic used by the federal, the state, and the city level governments. Their infrastructure, same. All focus on the same thing. How can you win against something of this magnitude when you yourselves are tied up in the matrix? This is what Morpheus was trying to get Neo to see. You see, while I was in the state of being repaired in surgery, God talks to you in the midst of that sleep or that darkness. And he's revealed to me, he's like, this war that you're launching, you become a T cell, okay? And a T cell, because here in San Antonio is a big medical city, and we have hospitals all around. And so they will understand the T cell, the principles of a T cell. A T cell is there as a white blood cell to fight against cancer, risks, objects that are foreign in the body. The body that we're fighting against, our body is San Antonio. Our body is Texas. Our body is the United States. That's our body. And we have some foreign objects inserted in them that is not playing fair with the rest of the body. From federal, state, and local city governments. You may not think, because the mayor is there and because these certain councilmen are sitting at certain places on the council, that they have our benefits at hand. That they have the people's benefits at hand. They don't care about the people. They say they care about the people. Each district sits on a panel and discuss how to make San Antonio great again. Not the people, but how to make this city part of the same infrastructure that is in Austin, the same infrastructure that is in White House Central. How all that plays the part. You see, here's the things that is hidden that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about the New World Economic Order. Nobody's talking about those trilateral commission that you know as NAFTA or NAU, in North American Union. Donald Trump, this is the only thing I'm going to talk about him on this one, is to say that the fence that he's preparing is in the wrong place. See, it needs to be on the other side of Mexico. Because, see, Donald Trump fails to realize that the NAU is already up and running. It's been up and running. And just because he doesn't like it, he wants to cut Mexico and Canada off. But he can't. He can't stop what is already done. Even though he's sitting in a presidential spot, he still can't change a thing. And the sooner that he learns that, the better off he will be trying to use up and shut up the NAU. His thing is to cause enough chaos, to cause enough animosity that the people of America will just bow down and say, you know what? We can't put up with this. Do what you got to do. And at that time, this will happen. Martial law will move in. The NAU will destroy the Constitution that we have and implement the NAU. North American Union already has its monies ready to go. All it needs is and he is the powder keg to start this thing. See, Obama couldn't tell you this. Obama he brought it to the point that he could. Bush brought it to the point that he could. And all the rest of them brought it to the point that they could. But Donald Trump, the trumpet, the Trumpster, he is the powder keg to launch this final blow by 2018. All these things that he's doing is to get us into the NAU, to the 10th region. I'm trying to tell you something. Whether Mayor Ivy Taylor, I heard her talking about you got to get a relationship with God. Yes, you got to get a relationship with God because it's not about church. Nope, never been about church. But see, that's the thing that they push. They push religiousism on. They push dogmatics on the sheep, saying you have to go to church. You have to be in have a church home. You have to have this. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need any of that. Long as you have a relationship with God, you and God. Now, if you want to be an atheist and have a relationship and say you don't believe God, well, guess what? Love, God knows. He said, I even allow you to have free will to say that there is no God. But deep in your heart and your spirit, you know that there is a God. Even though you tell other people there's no God. And you stand up and you say, I'm an atheist. I'm a coexister. I'm this and I'm this. All that is religious. All that is religiosism. That's dogmatism. Those things are part of the hidden forces that are behind the scenes. That's part of the Illuminati. That's how the Illuminati is structured. The Game of Thrones and all this other stuff that you play with every day. And you're thinking, oh, it's just a game. Well, it's not a game. And the game is on you. See, it's on you to know the truth. It's on you to seek the truth and you shall find it. But if you want to stay within the matrix, stay there. Because it's going to be on the last laugh, as my friend on Wife and Kids used to say, laugh, last laugh. Well, it's on you. Because it's going to be you and your family with the mark. It's going to be you and your family stuck out there, and everybody's coming to take. All the have-nots are coming to raid and take away what you have labored for all your life. The American dream. The American dream. If it can't be, it's all or none. That's the problem. See, all or none. It's not all or none. It's few. It's some have it and the majority don't have it. So the majority don't have it has gotten tired of not having it. And so it's either we all have it or we all don't have it. Donald Trump is based on making sure that nobody but the few, that the prominent have it. And everybody else, they don't have